The Galactic Military Academy's courtyard fell silent as the Krevtar was led into the training grounds. The creature stood 12 feet tall, its obsidian scales gleaming under the twin suns of Proxima Tertius. 6 eyes, each burning with predatory intelligence, swept across the assembled cadets. Its claws, each as long as a human forearm, scraped against the reinforced durasteel floor, leaving shallow grooves in their wake. Katniss stood in the 3rd row, her heart hammering against her ribs. She'd read about the Krevtar in her xenobiology texts, but nothing prepared her for the reality. The war beast was a living weapon, bred by the ancient Voharan civilization for one purpose: to identify warriors worthy of command. For 3,000 years it had tested military candidates across 100 worlds. Beside her, Orpheus remained perfectly still, his dark eyes fixed on the creature. His human face betrayed no emotion, but Katniss noticed his fingers flexing slowly, a nervous habit he'd never quite broken. "Cadets," Commander Zixthar announced, his forearms crossed over his chitinous chest. "The Krevtar will approach each of you. It will growl. This is the test. Those who flinch fail. Those who stand their ground pass. Those who flee are expelled immediately. The Krevtar has never been wrong about a warrior's spirit." The first cadet, a towering Brecken with violet skin and tusks like daggers, stepped forward. The Krevtar approached, its massive head lowering until its breath, hot and reeking of sulfur, washed over the cadet's face. Then it growled. The sound was primal, a rumble that seemed to originate from the planet's core itself. It bypassed the ears entirely, resonating directly in the bones in the base of the brain where ancient prey instincts still dwelt. The Brecken's knees trembled, but he held his ground. After 5 eternal seconds, the Krevtar moved on. One by one, it tested them. A Celthian female with 8 tentacles, she passed barely. A crystalline jar whose body chimed with terror, he passed. A hulking Gorvin who looked like he could wrestle stars. He flinched and was immediately marked for remedial training. Katniss's turn came. The Krevtar loomed before her, its 6 eyes studying her with unnerving intelligence. She was small by galactic standards. Humans always were. 5.5 feet of flesh and bone standing before a creature that had broken battle mechs with its bare claws. The growl came. It was worse than she'd imagined. Every instinct in her body screamed to run, to find shelter, to survive. Her DNA, forged in Earth's brutal evolutionary crucible, recognized this as the apex predator her ancestors had fled in the night. But Katniss was also the great-great-granddaughter of soldiers. She locked her knees, clenched her jaw, and stared back into those burning eyes. The Krevtar tilted its head, almost curious. Then it moved on. Katniss exhaled, her legs nearly giving out. She'd passed. Orpheus was last. The human male stepped forward with that peculiar grace humans possessed, born from being persistence hunters on a death world Katniss had once read. The Krevtar approached him as it had the others, lowering its massive head. Its nostrils flared, sampling his scent. Then something unprecedented happened. The Krevtar's growl started deep in its chest, but before it could fully manifest, the creature stopped. Its 6 eyes widened. Its scales rippled with what could only be described as shock. Orpheus stood motionless, meeting the war beast's gaze with calm, unblinking eyes. The courtyard had gone deathly silent. Even Commander Zixthar leaned forward, his mandibles clicking with confusion. The Krevtar lowered itself further, and further still. Its massive head touched the ground before Orpheus's feet, pressed against the durasteel in a posture that every cadet recognized. Submission, reverence, recognition. The creature had bowed. "Impossible," someone whispered. "Commander." Zixthar's forearms dropped to his sides. "In 3,000 years," Orpheus looked down at the war beast, then slowly extended his hand. The Krevtar raised its head, allowing the human to place his palm on its scaled snout. For a moment that seemed to stretch into infinity, human and war beast regarded each other. Then the Krevtar made a sound no one had heard before, a deep, rumbling purr. "What is the meaning of this?" Zixthar demanded, approaching cautiously. "Cadet Orpheus, explain yourself." Orpheus turned, his hand still resting on the creature's head. "Sir, I don't understand it either, but—" He paused, searching for words. "It knows me. Or rather, it knows what I am. And what are you? Human, sir." Orpheus's voice carried across the silent courtyard. From Earth, a planet where everything evolved to kill everything else, where our ancestors survived not because they were the strongest or fastest, but because they refused to stop, because they hunted prey across continents until the prey collapsed from exhaustion, because they stared into the darkness and decided to make fire instead of hiding. He looked back at the Krevtar, and something ancient passed between them. Recognition from one apex survivor to another. The Krevtar was bred to identify warriors, Orpheus continued. But humans weren't bred. We were forged. Every human alive today is descended from survivors of ice ages, plagues, predators, and each other. We're not special because we're fearless. We're special because we're terrified of everything, and we do what needs doing anyway. The war beast rumbled its agreement, the sound now almost gentle. Commander Zixthar was silent for a long moment. Then his mandibles spread in what his species used as a smile. It appears the Krevtar has made its judgment, Cadet Orpheus. In 3 millennia, you are the first it has ever bowed to. He paused, his multifaceted eyes gleaming. Perhaps we have been testing the wrong species all along. Perhaps the true test isn't whether you can face a predator without flinching, but whether you're descended from creatures that turned themselves into predators to survive. As the other cadets were dismissed, Katniss caught Orpheus's eye. He shrugged, a very human gesture, slightly embarrassed by the attention. But the Krevtar remained at his side, its massive head level with his shoulder, content to follow this strange small creature that carried the scent of a world where even the prey learned to hunt back. In the medical bay later, when asked why the Krevtar had bowed, the xenobiologist could only offer one theory. The war beast recognized something in Orpheus's scent, his pheromones, his very DNA, the undeniable mark of a species that had clawed its way to the top of the food chain, not through evolution's gifts, but through sheer, stubborn, terrifying refusal to die. Humanity, after all, had always been very good at surviving.